On August 12, 2023, the Ministry of Water Resources of China issued a text message saying that after its comprehensive analysis and judgment, it found that since the end of July this year, the Zhejiang River and the He River Basin has suffered major floods. Two of the rivers have suffered extreme floods. The flood is catastrophic. However, the Chinese government didn't offer any details of the flood, such as the flood flow, the extent of the flooded area, casualties, and damages to livestock and property, etc. From previous reports by Chinese state media, more than 1.2 million people have been evacuated in Hebei province alone. This is the official figure, and real numbers are usually worse. The torrential rain and man-made floods have caused serious disasters in Bazhou and Bazhou, Hebei province. One of the main reasons is to protect the Xiongan New Area, which is located in the lower reaches of the Bazhou Lake, the largest freshwater lake in North China. Officials say more than $4 trillion are planned to build the Xiongan New Area. It'll serve to relieve Beijing's non-capital functions of universities, hospitals, and state-owned enterprises with the goal of becoming China's deputy capital. Officially, it's labeled as a Millennium Plan and a national event. Floodwater discharges for the sake of protecting the Xiongan New Area have led to the flooding of many towns and villages in Hebei province, including half of Bazhou city, resulting in heavy losses. China's Central TV reports have sparked protests after claiming that the disaster was a result of rainfall. The video shows that an elevated highway in the middle separates Bazhou and Xiongan New Area. One side is flooded while the other side is green without water. Viewers can clearly see on one side the discharge of floodwaters floods the city of Bazhou, and on the other side the Xiongan New Area is dry with no water.
可爱的家呀，辛辛苦苦的家呀，这都好了。
Before we continue with this story, let's play a quick commercial. I would like to recommend the sponsor of this video.
America's first enzyme-fermented coffee is here. Days Coffee roasts specialty-grade coffee beans to a decadent medium dark, low acidity with walnut and cherry notes. Perfect for a creamy espresso. Experience premium coffee like never before. Order your Days Coffee today.
Now let's move on. Disaster victims in various parts of Hebei province have started protesting, and police officers from all over the country are mobilized.
Look at all the police, so many police. We have no one left in the family.
I understand how you feel, but it's a different story from letting you break the law.
The elderly ones want to go home, but they can't.
This needs to be discussed with the Petition Bureau of Letters and Visits. You can make an appointment with the party secretary, okay? Both are okay.
Look at the kids. Look at the pepper spray used on the people.
In this city in Hebei province, the police arrested many protesting disaster victims and treated them terribly. Take a look, okay? The water is here. I have no optimistic view now. I didn't expect the water to come so fast. It has flooded all the fields. What's more, this is a levee. See, the levee. The villagers are on guard. It's 20 meters deep. It's already flooded. The people have packed the earth underneath. This is a big pit. It's less than 100 mu of land. The area is less than 100 mu of land. It's 30 meters deep. People have dug the pit. Now the water has come over from the fields where the crops are planted. Very soon, this big pit would be full. Then, when this pit is overflowing, the water will come to the side of the field. See, it's over, completely over. The Hebei Provincial Water Resources Department is a complete jerk. They didn't supply water during the drought. Instead, they sold the water for profit. Now it's the rainy season and they're discharging water. Aren't you criminals, the Hebei Water Resources Department? You deserve to be punched in the face. Well, during the drought, they didn't provide water to the people, and now, during the flood season, during the rainy season, they are releasing water from up here. Are you human? Where's the 200-pound pig? Where did the 200-pound pig go? Where's the so-called new premier, the new premier Li Chang? Are you bloody human? You are now in Bazhou for summer vacation. These bastards. Where's the 200-pound pig? Where's Li Chang? The bastards at the Hebei Provincial Public Security Bureau and the Water Resources Department. They didn't supply water during the drought, but kept the water and sold it for money. Now it's the flood season, but you guys are releasing the water. What the hell? The term 200-pound is slang in China. It implicitly refers to the current CCP leader Xi Jinping. It came from a well-known quote by Xi. He once said that when he was young and undergoing re-education in rural villages, he could carry 200 pounds of stuff on a flat bearer and walk through the mountains without having to switch shoulders. Where was Xi Jinping when the catastrophic flooding created more than 1.2 million victims in Hebei province? He led a group of senior officials to Bazhou in Hebei province to escape the summer heat. For the victims, they survived the floods, but can they survive what's coming? Look at this young man in front of his flooded home. He is overwhelmed and at a loss for what to do. What do you mean 9 vehicles got washed away? I mean the ones that I used to drive. They are all washed away? Yes. Big or small vehicles, SUVs and sedans. All of them? All of them. And 2 farm vehicles. The house is gone? Yes, the house is gone too. Look, these ruined homes.
饭吃，我可能今天我吃一桶泡面是你们捐给我的，接下来我省下来的这一桶泡面钱，我就可以买一块地砖，我就可以买一块砖，重建我们的家。现在我们的家是没有了，所以我也理解你们，可能说大家挣钱都不容易，凭什么你们有手有脚用我们捐给你们呀？我就真的希望大家可以理解一下，我们的困难是从现在才开始，是我们从被救出去的那一刻才刚开始。 接下来是我们最
This flood is a rare occurrence. I remember it was around 1963 when we had a flood, but it wasn't this severe. Back then, it was the low-lying areas that got flooded. The water did not go into the houses on the higher ground. This year's floodwater was exceptionally high. Look at the elevation of the foundation of my home. The water has reached that level. My land is already high, but the water still reached it. Baoding Prefecture, which administers Bazhou, said hundreds of bridges and hundreds of kilometers of rural roads have been water damaged, with direct economic losses reaching nearly 2.3 billion as of August 5th. The owner of a local packing factory estimated he suffered at least 2.8 million of losses. He said the flood did more damage than the pandemic in the last 3 years. We never thought we would be hit by such a severe natural disaster. Some people ask if I have insurance. I clearly say I don't have insurance because from my perspective of my mindset, such a massive flood seemed impossible in the past. I've been very diligent in fire prevention, but to be honest, what you're seeing here is the result of over a decade of hard work. What I want to say is that running a business is incredibly tough. Faced with this massive flood, we don't know how to cope. People across China are sympathetic to the flood victims in the north. They have spontaneously donated many supplies, but their efforts are hampered for various reasons. A truckload of supplies from Hebei in Hebei province for flood victims of Bazhou. They hope to bring them to the victims. They hauled the supplies to the receiving site. At the same time, civil rescue teams from out of town were there too. They came to support Bazhou, wanting to know about the local situation. However, the local government had no one to receive them, no one to look after their food and lodging. It only wants to take the truckload of supplies into its own hands. But the driver who delivered the supplies from Hebei refused. He insisted, "I need to hand over the supplies to the victims and the rescue teams, to the front line." So a conflict occurred between the government and the driver. The government wouldn't let the goods be delivered directly to the victims, so the driver had to haul the supplies back to Hebei. Also hard hit were several major grain-producing provinces in the northeast. The victims received similar treatment to their counterparts in Hebei province. Look at it, we peasants came to complain, but the gates are locked and they won't let us in. Do you see? No one is allowed in. We are flooded with no place to eat, but these officials are inside with air conditioning. Look at us, the people. We have come to complain, but no one is talking to us. The door is locked. We haven't even had a meal, you see. People don't even have anyone to talk to, see? This is the local government. We, the people, aren't received. The front and back doors are locked. We can't even get in. The officials ran away after staying a bit. No one is doing anything. No one is bothered about the flood and flood relief of the villagers here now. Do you see? I don't know what's going on, but when I came here, they threw us out. We just want to ask who oversees flood relief. What about our food, clothing, shelter, transportation, and survival? They just threw us out when we got here. I didn't get to see the one in charge. Take a look. For the victims, getting compensation or assistance from the government is going to be an extremely long and arduous process, if not hopeless. What's certain is that the public's anger is building up. All it needs is a trigger, and they'll be on their way to victory. It's not a fantasy. This video isn't about flooding, but it shows the courage and determination of the grassroots people in China. For the Chinese people who are being oppressed in every way, it's something worth watching. In mid-August 2023, the ancestral shrine of a family clan was to be demolished by the government. The ancestral hall has been standing for more than 500 years. The Huang clan has been using drums to fight off the demolition. 60,000 members of the Huang clan recently initiated a life and death draw. The names of those who have been chosen were kept secret, and they would be responsible for confronting the developers, officials, and their families at the cost of their lives. In turn, the entire clan promised to look after the aftermath of their deaths. Overseas clan members joined and donated more than $4 million to the cause. The male members of the clan guarded the ancestral hall day and night. How did they deal with the developers and officials? Due to the sensitive nature of the issue, we won't go into the details here. Anyway, the CCP officials were horrified upon knowing their approach of sacrificing their lives for the cause. For fear of their own lives, they revoked all the demolition and relocation contracts in the end and came to the ancestral hall to make a public apology. In other words, the demolition was cancelled for now. This is the wisdom of the Huang clan. The identity of the death soldiers or the ones who drew the dead cards is kept secret. The officials have no way of knowing when a disaster will strike and live in fear for their lives. Since there was no large-scale conflict between the police and the people, the police had no excuse or evidence on which to place charges and impose sentences. The Huang clan won a big victory in the end. When the government's excavators arrived, the Huang clan beat drums to announce their determination. The sound of drums scared off the excavator.